Hey everybody, PCB Junkie back with another video. Today I want to talk to you about using one of these matrix style JAMMA adapters that I make to convert a non-JAMMA game to the JAMMA standard. Now this adapter is a matrix style adapter. It has a number of rows for each individual JAMMA pin and a number of columns that correspond to one of the pins on the game side edge connector right here. And the idea is that you would basically connect one of the rows with one of the columns by bridging one of these solder pads. And the way you'd know which one to bridge is you would simply use the labels here on the left, which correspond to the JAMMA edge connector pin, and one of the pins down here which are unlabeled, but when you get your pin out you should be able to follow that. It's basically each one of these columns corresponds to the pin, which is just below it. Okay, so I'm going to get the game. The game that we're going to be using today is called Flower. It's a vertical shooter. Might be running on a horizontal monitor, I don't quite recall. But anyway, the game is a flower-themed space shooter, which is kind of an interesting combination. And it's quite a uncommon game, if not rare. I'm one of the only few people that I know that has one of those. So, and I got a few copies, in fact. So yeah, it's quite a rare game. I don't actually have the pinout for it, so we're going to be using this connector as well, this adapter, I mean, to experiment and figure out exactly what the pinout of that game is. Okay, so let's get the game and let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at these power pins, and I'm going to try to find out exactly whether these are 5 volts or ground or 12 volts, and we can do that by using a multimeter and just cross-checking these power pins against one of these 74 series chips. Okay, so we know that the 74 series ICs have their ground on this side right here. We can check. Yeah, so that is the ground, and this should be a +5. Okay, so just to make sure, we'll check the +5 now, and sure enough, that is the +5. So we know ground, and then +5, so we can quickly configure that on the adapter. And then these, I'm guessing by the thickness of them, they're probably the +12 volt pin. So I'll again, I will have a look at that shortly, but I just want to confirm, make sure that this is a ground as well, and it sure is. Okay, so the first 2 pins and the last 2 pins are ground, and then we have +5 and then possibly +12 here somewhere. Okay, so let's have a look. How can we do this? Let me see if I can find one of these pins on the amplifier. No. Is it a ground? No. Okay, let's try this one here. Okay, so that is probably a +12, or it could be speaker output. It does go directly to the amplifier. I'll have to have a second look just to make sure, and then let's try this one here. This may also be a +12 or a speaker output pin. Okay, so all these all 4, 2 on the part side of the board and 2 below are coming in through this part of the circuit and reach the audio amplifier. Okay, so I'll quickly look at the data sheet for this, make sure the power's on the right pins, and then I'll trace it back to here, and then we'll start to connect the power, make sure everything works as expected before we start looking for the video signal. Alright, so what I've been able to find out so far is that this pin right here, okay, the one that's below, it's on the solder side of the board, goes to pin 1 of, pin 10 of this audio amplifier, and the audio amplifier is LA4460. Pulled up the data sheet over here, and I don't know if you can see this clearly, but pin 10 up there is the VCC pin, and we have pin 9 and 7 are outputs, and I traced those back to these 2 pins. So solder and component side of the board, pin 5 going right to left is the speaker output, and solder side of pin 4 is +12. The top side, I don't know, this pin ends up going down here somewhere. I'm not sure what that is. I may just leave it unconnected for a bit while I figure out exactly what this pin is for. But yeah, basically I think we have all the power requirements understood now, and we can go ahead and start making the adapter. Basically what I have here is the lamp. It's just shining on the back of the board so I can see the traces clearly, and this board is quite transparent, and the light comes through very nicely, so I can see those traces and make this a little bit easier on myself. Okay, anyway, let's start to configure that adapter, at least for the voltages that we found, and then we'll hook it up and see if we can get the video. Oh, and one word about video. I believe here you can see the resistor arrays. Seems like 8 bits each. I believe those would be the controls, so the controls would be from here to here, and then the remaining traces are these 2 thick ones, and this section right here, which ends up going to these resistors. And I would bet that the video signals come through these traces right here. Okay, so that's how we're gonna hook it up, and yeah, let's pull out the soldering iron and start configuring this thing. Alright, so got the adapter ready. I just want to show you what I'm going to be doing right here. So we know that from right to left we had pins on the solder side of the board, solder and component side of the board that corresponded to, oops, I'm out of frame here, corresponded to the ground, which were our 2 leftmost or rightmost pins. Then we had the +5, which was followed by an unknown pin that I'm gonna leave unconnected for now, and then the speaker output, I'm gonna make that the speaker plus, and then the solder side pin underneath is gonna be the speaker minus, and then what was it, the 5th pin, solder side pin here was the +12 voltage for the amplifier. So I'm going to be joining the pads right here. I don't know if you can see this very well, but I'm going to be bridging those 2 solder pads right there for the 2 pins down at the bottom where it says ground, and we're going to move up 1 row, and we're going to bridge those 2 corresponding to the +5, and then our speaker, which is right here, this row right there, we're going to be bridging those rows with the corresponding 5th pin right down there. Okay, so I'm going to put the adapter down, and we're going to start to make the connections. Alright, make sure I'm in frame here. And this is super easy. All you do is just simply bridge this. We have the 2 grounds now, and we have the +5s, and then I'm gonna have to do that one underneath, but it's the 4, and then this one is gonna be speaker plus, which is our 5th. Where's speaker plus? Right there. Okay, and then underneath I'm going to do the same thing for the solder side of the board. Okay, so speaker, I should probably say this first, that being right to left on the component side actually means left to right on the solder side. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing here, but just going back from the left to the right. So we have ground, then +5, then we have the +12 right there, which is the next pin over, and then the speaker minus, which is this one right here. Okay, so that's it. That should configure the power and the speaker section, and yeah, let's connect the game and see if we can get it to boot up. Before I do that, let's do the other side and also connect the grounds on the opposite side of the connector. Okay, so that's done, and then let's do these two as well. Alright. Okay, let's connect to the game and see if we can get it going. Before connecting the adapter, I noticed that there's a problem here. Initially I soldered these pads right there, as you can see, but I then realized that this is actually the parts side of the connector, so I had to flip everything. As you can see now, we have new soldered pads, and I unbridged those right there for the speaker and the power. Ground stays, but the +5 is no longer here. And if you want to unbridge one of these pads, you just run the tip of the soldering gun across the gap right there, and it unbridges the connection. Okay, power on. Okay, voltages seem okay. I don't feel any issues with the heat. Do we have any sound at all? Oh, yes we do. Alright. Are we gonna get any output? Any sound output? Probably not, but let's see if we yeah, the game is definitely running. That's my human logic probe. I just touch one of the inputs of the amplifier and I just probe around with my finger. But yeah, the board is definitely running. Yeah, let's now experiment with the video and try to get the video connected. It's likely that the board is maybe running, but its demo mode doesn't have any sound set up, so we're not going to get to hear anything until we actually coin up the game and press start. So since there's nothing else we can do at the moment, let's work on the video section. I'm going to be doing that by using something to short temporarily these video pins and try to get something to come up on the monitor. Okay, so I'll be experimenting. I know that these are most likely here, and I'll just try to short those two columns against the blue, red, sync, and green, and hopefully we get something on the screen. And once we figure out what the colors are, we'll bridge those pads permanently, and that should give us the video. Alright, it's a little difficult to get everything in frame, but we'll try to like I said earlier, short some of those video pins and or pads. Let's see if we can get something to come up on the screen. So I'm guessing this will be something like red, green, blue, sync, or sync, blue, green, red, maybe. But I'm going with the with my first gut instinct. I'm gonna say this is probably red, green, blue, and sync. And just by the values of the resistors here that correspond to the three traces, these are all the same resistors. I'm guessing that's for the color, and then we have two different resistors, probably for the sync. So maybe before we do this, we should let's connect V ground to ground. Normally it's not connected by default, so let's do that. Let's just make sure that our video signal is grounded. The game is still on. I shouldn't probably do that with the game on. Let's turn it off for a second and just connect the V ground to ground. Let's see if we can get something now. Go with the red again. Nothing. Let's sync. Okay. Alright, so that does look like a sync signal. Okay. Actually, maybe not. No. Oh, what? How come it synced for like a split second? Is this the sync pin? I think this is color. Okay. So, like I said, first hunch. I'm gonna join this one to red. I'm gonna join this one to, I'm gonna guess blues on the other side. So, and green on this side. Okay? Let's do that. If it's wrong, if the colors are wrong, we'll just flip this around. I mean, there's no other way. We can check the colors until we hook them up and see if they work as expected. Okay, actually, you know what? I screwed this up. I put red and green here, but that's okay. That's fine. Let's flip the board on the other side and join blue and sync. Okay, so blue will be on this side and sync on the other. Sync. I'm guessing it's this one here. Okay. Alright, so hopefully if we're lucky, we're gonna get some sort of video to come up. Maybe the colors won't be right, or maybe it won't sync, but at least there should be some signal displayed on the screen. Alright, let's see what happens. Everything connected properly, just double checking. Looks okay. Oh, heard something. Oh, look at that. Ah, too easy. What? Okay. I don't know about the colors. Definitely the red is correct, because that bar on top has always been red. I'm not sure about this though. I'm gonna have to pull up an image on the internet and see if this is the right colors on the screen. Yeah, the colors are incorrect, and we know that the red is correct, so the only thing that we need to do is just flip the green with the blue. So we're gonna unbridge the green here and connect this part to blue, and then I'll flip the board once again. And unbridge the blue and connect the red, the green. Okay, that's this one right here. Okay. All right, so that does it. Now we should be able to get the proper colors. And let's see if we do. Okay, everything looks okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah. That looks a lot better. I bet you that's the proper color scheme. Yeah, okay. So, so far so good. Now I'm just gonna be going through this section right here. So these pins right in the middle, and I'm gonna try to coin the game. Once I find the coin, I'm gonna try to start, and as I'm finding these, I'll be joining the appropriate pin right away. I'm not even gonna power the game down. I'm just gonna do it right there, and then once we get most of the controls figured out, I'll hopefully have a quick game of this. Alright, so in order to figure out where the controls are, I'm going to be taking a piece of solder right here, and I'll short the ground to one of the pins here on the edge connector, and we should be able to find which is the coin and the start button by doing this. Of course, this is not really safe. It's just a piece of solder. It's not shielded, so I could short out something, but I'll be pretty careful. And I'm just too lazy to go and find a clip or a test lead or something like that, or proper cable even. So yeah, this is what's available for now. Let's just use this. All right, so anyway, let's turn this game on and get started. Make sure we have sound so we can hear. Yeah, alright, so let's see. So first I'll check the top component side of the board. I'll just run it across these yeah, I don't see anything. Of course, I'm avoiding all the big traces. Let's just do this once again. Okay, so definitely nothing on this side, unless I have bad connection here. So let's check now the solder side of the board. I have the vias right here available, so let's try these and see if we can get the coin. Oh, there it was. Okay. Alright, so it's this pin. It's pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 4, 6, 8. Pin 8. Okay, let's look for start. Okay, so start is pin 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 on the, oh, it's 2 player. Okay, 2 players. So 7. Alright. 7 on the solder side. So how about player 1 then? Let's see. So coin was 8 on the solder side. Alright, let's see if we can get this again. 8 is this one. Correct. And then what about player 1? Start. Alright, so player 1 is component side, and coin is solder side, pin 8, and then player 2 is pin 7 solder. Okay, good. Let's make that connection, and then let's see if we can coin up the game via the buttons here and actually get the game to start. Alright, so we got start right here. Okay. start one, and then looking for coin. No, start 2, which was pin 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's player 2 start. And then coin 1. This pad right there. Okay. Alright, so now, since the game is running, and looks like we have unlimited ships somehow. This is great, actually. It's going to give us a lot of time for testing this. I'm going to continue to do the same thing I did before, shorting the pins on the edge connector here. Then we're going to look for the ship's controls. Okay, so once we found them, we're going to, again, bridge the jumper pad right away, just to get those done and over with. Okay, so that's down. It's pin 2, 4, 6, 7. Pin 7. Okay, and then right is pin 8. Okay. Player 1 down is pin 7, which is this pin right here. Player 1 down, P1 down right there. And then we have P2, what was the left, right? It's P2 left. P1 left, sorry. P1 left. Okay, so we should give us the ability to control ship down and oh, it's not left, it's right, damn it. Okay. Okay, it's right. P1 right. More solder. Alright. Let's see. Down, right. Okay. That works. Okay. What else can we find? Okay, nothing. There's no buttons, or what's going on? Okay, so pin 8, 2, 4, 6, 7, pin 7 and 8 on the solder side. There are also ship's controls, player 1, and those correspond to up and right. So let's flip the board right now and connect that as well. 7 and 8, correct. Okay. So we have all the controls now. Left, right, up, down. Yes, we do. Alright, let's complete this adapter by linking up all the other jumper pads. Got a clip right here, a alligator clip, because the solder was getting quite annoying. It started to break up into little pieces. So I'm just gonna do this and try to figure out exactly where the rest of the pins are, what their function is, and yeah, we'll quickly then join everything up and hopefully have a quick game. So let's see, we should be able to start the game already. Okay, and now we're just going to be looking for the controls. So we have player 1 controls already. We don't have player 1 button yet. Let's find that. Okay, down, up, right, left, nothing. Oh, that's the button. Okay, so it's solder side pin 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, if I'm not mistaken. 9, pin 9, solder side. Okay. Okay, these do nothing. I don't know if this game is 1 button or 2 buttons. Okay. All right, I think it's just the 1 button for now. Let's put this game in 2-player mode so we can figure out the 2-player controls. And I'm gonna switch the controller here. Start player 2. Okay, so that's button, but that's still player 1. All right. Okay, down, up, right, left. So that's pin 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Pin 10. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, just die, will you? And up, right, left. Okay. Alright, so it's actually pin 11, 12, and 13, and it's the same scheme as the player 1 side. Up and right are on the component side, and then down and left is on the solder side, and the button is on the solder side as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna start connecting these since I pretty much know where to go. Alright, so here we are. Okay, so buttons are on the other side, so we'll just do, yeah, that wasn't good. Don't put your solder on your board while it's running. Okay, make sure this gets out of the way a little bit. Alright, here we go. So this one is player 2. Player 2 down. Okay, and then player 2 right. Okay. Now we flip the board over. I'm just gonna disconnect this clip. Alright. So the next column here is the button. Let me see here. Okay. Player 1 up, player 1 left. That's correct. And then player 1 button is the next one over. Player 1 button 1 is here. Okay, and then same thing goes for but hold on, that what number pin was that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. It's pin 11. Alright, so now we go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay, this one, that's P2 down. Now P2 up. Okay, here we go. And then P2 left. Then P2 button 1. Okay, I think that's everything. So let's coin this game up and then see if we can get it to start. Okay, so we'll start in the one-player mode for now. We'll test all the one-player controls. Okay, switch the game. Alright, here we go. Yep, starts nicely. Okay, we got fire. There's some power-ups in this game, so I'm going to try to collect that and see if a secondary button is required to use those. I'm not quite sure. You know, it's really the first time I'm playing this game. Oh no, okay, so it's just, I guess it's just the one button then. There's no... Alright, well, yeah. Okay, unlimited man, eh? I'd like to get to a boss at least. Damn. I mean, come on, it's not that hard. Let's turn off this light. Shoot. You know, this game's not as easy as I initially thought it would be. There's a ton of crap on the screen, coming in different ways, different random ways. Screen real estate is kind of small. I don't get to see very far ahead of you. Power-ups are... okay. Alright, you know what? Forget about this. Okay, let's try player 2 controls, make sure they work. Alright, 2 coins, and then have to switch joystick to player 2. And let's start it. Okay, so that works. So player 1 is just going to be sacrificed while we wait for player 2. Okay. Okay, so right, left, up, down, up. Yep, that all seems to work except for the button. No button controls. Wow, how come? That's not good. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, actually, there's a break in this cable right here, so that's why this extension. So let me solder that quickly and then see if we can get the game to run again. A little bit of additional troubleshooting. Okay, quick and dirty. Alright, let's see now. Should be good to go. There we go. Alright. So that pretty much does it. I'm not going to be playing this upside down. But, yeah, that's pretty much the game. I know that there are power-ups and bosses. Let's see, maybe we can try to get to one. Got the Knight Rider red bar. Don't know what that's about. It's like an homage to the series or what. Doesn't seem to serve a purpose. And it's busy here. Okay, we got another power up. Okay, bar's gone away. Oh. What? Okay. There's a boss. What? I'm not even close. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding. This ship is too wide, it's like impossible to squeeze between two of those pedals. No! Okay, before I end this video, I have to kill this guy. Yeah! Shoot. Die! So annoying. I was hoping this is something better. It's coming closer and closer. Jeez. Oh! What's that? That's kind of useful. Okay, you know what? Forget this. It's as good as it gets. So before I wrap this video up, let me just show you the completed adapter. As you can see, we've made the necessary connections by soldering the jumper pads that allow us to connect the game side traces with the JAMMA side edge connector. And we have done that here for ground, video ground, and then the video red and video blue. And then we have our player 1 start. This would be player 2 right, player 2 down, the buttons, etc. And then on the other side, which corresponds to the solder side of the board, we have the voltages: ground plus 12, plus 5 right there, a speaker minus, and then we have the other controls, player 1 up, and then the player 1 left, the button, and then we have the second player controls: player 2 up, player 2 left, and then player 1 button. So that's it. That's what the adapter will eventually look like when you're finished. Now I've done a little bit of a cleanup here. I removed the excess flux with some flux remover. Just keep it nice and clean. And of course, I did label this thing. Let me just get the lighting correct. Yeah, I labeled it right there. I provided a little white square where you can put your name, and then if you want this to last a little bit longer, you just put some clear tape over it, just to keep the permanent marker from smudging over time. And that's about it. That's about the whole process that you need to go through in order to configure one of these. Now, as you know, this had to be done without any sort of a pinout, and it took I would say, what, 15-20 minutes if I'm not mistaken, maybe even less than that. If you have the pinout, you can pretty much route this whole thing in a matter of like 5 to 10 minutes. And once you're done, this is pretty durable. I mean, these things you cannot scratch off. I mean, you could, of course you could, but you know, if you just toss it into the box with other adapters, it should be okay. Unless you put a lot of force and shear these pads off, they'll probably stay there for a very long time. So these things are quite durable. And like I said, super easy to configure, and maybe a little bit on the big side, but it's all about the convenience, right? And configuring these things quickly and having them last a little bit longer than a typical wired JAMMA adapter. So that's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it gave you a little bit of understanding on how these things work and how they're configured. And if you're interested and want to get one of these from me, check out my webpage at pcbjunkie.net and my eBay listing for this particular item. My username is pcbjunkie.net on eBay. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a good one, and if you enjoy this, just say hi and leave a comment and subscribe. Okay? Thanks for watching once again, and I'll post another video here soon. I've been away for a while, but I'm going to be a little bit more consistent, posting videos probably about once a month or maybe once every couple of weeks. Okay? See you on the next one. Bye, everybody.